Hey guys, Dwayne The Rock Johnson here, back with another horrible tier list that's gonna get 0 views. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, but I know that I'm recording this like more than a month late, so yeah, that's my fault. It's like mid-July and school ended in mid-June. Anyway, hello and welcome to my official sophomore year classes tier list. So in what's it called? Yeah, high school, that's it. You have 7 classes, not including lunch. I'm not doing lunch because that's dumb. But I actually had 8 because I took 6 full year classes and 2 semester classes. So there's 8 classes I'm going to be reviewing in this video. Each class is going to be graded on 3 categories, and that is usefulness, enjoyability, and difficulty. Those 3 ratings combined out of 10 form a rating out of 30, and that's what they're going to be graded on. So yeah, simple enough. Also, the reason I'm doing one this year and I did not do one freshman year is because 2 of these categories, enjoyment and difficulty, were completely different freshman and sophomore year, because my entire freshman year was online. So enjoyment was like 2 for all of them, and easiness was also 2 for all of them. Difficulty, or easiness, I don't know, it's like the same thing but reversed. Yeah, one of these for freshman year would not be accurate, so it wouldn't be fair, so I just didn't do one. But I just did a full in-person year for sophomore year, so here we are. And yeah, so that's about it for the intro. I hope you enjoy my absolutely beautiful tier list. Here we go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the sophomore year classes tier list. And we have 8 classes to go over today. I've already ordered them, just, I don't know, based on however I felt like ordering them. And I have my little cheat sheet here of all the ratings of all the classes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I guess, I don't know. Starting off with English. English was one of the only classes this year that had 2 different teachers for first and second semester because they switched they switched classes first and second semesters, and English, I got 2 different teachers. One of them was pretty good. One of them was not, but she also had a long-term sub. Well, actually, she wasn't like terrible. Everyone thinks she's terrible. I actually didn't think she was terrible. I thought she was like mid. But her long-term sub was like, didn't do anything. Which isn't really a bad thing, at least from a student's point of view. It's just like, if you're gonna, like, this isn't really about the class, it's about the sub. Like, if you're gonna be a substitute teacher, at least try. To be fair though, I'm not complaining, it was fun. Anyway, starting it off with usefulness out of 10, I feel like English gets a solid 5 out of 10. You know, it develops, like, some of your writing skills, you get feedback based off your essays and stuff, but I feel like more like AP English, like AP Lang and AP Lit would be way more useful because there's more work and you learn how to like analyze actually and like actually do things effectively. Just normal honors English, I think is like medium usefulness, so 5 out of 10. Enjoyment, again, I'm gonna have to go 5. I mean, in first semester, I really only, well, actually I did have some people in the class, but really only one person in my main friend group that I talked to like every day in the class. And then English second semester, I actually had that same person in that class. I had Arturo in first and second semester English. But besides that, except for some random people first semester, I didn't really talk to anyone in English, so I think it's a 5 out of 10. And then yeah, I'm actually grading it on easiness instead of difficulty because then it would all be reversed and I have to switch it anyway. So because easiness is just easier, so it's the same thing. So easiness, English, I'm gonna give it a 6. Like I feel like English is one of those classes where like the assignments you get usually aren't really that big. There's just a lot of random assignments scattered around that you actually have to do, so it like makes up for it because there's a lot of them. And then once in a while we just get like one big essay that takes 2 weeks to do. We had like 2 or 3 of those last year. But yeah, that was my ratings for English. Overall, that brings it to a 16 out of 30 overall rating, which brings English into a C tier. Next class, we've got chemistry. This is a very interesting class because, you know, as you may, if you haven't taken chemistry yet, you imagine chemistry to be exactly what is depicted in this picture, just like neon liquids and beakers and stuff and like pouring them out and making stuff or whatever. No, really all it is electrons and stoichiometry for like 9 months. If you don't know what stoichiometry is, don't worry, it's easy, you're fine. Or at least in honors it is. I'm not like a psycho, so I'm not taking AP Chem, but I know it gets a lot more complicated than AP. But just honors chemistry, really it was a pretty easy class, but we'll get to that later. First, for that first rating, you got usefulness, where I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Like, really, like, when are we ever, like, I understand how some majors would use chemistry, but like, most career paths, you don't have to use anything you learned in this class, so 4 out of 10 I feel like is fair. Like, we're never gonna need to know, like, how many electrons are in an atom of beryllium. Like, that's not, we don't need that. Next up, you got enjoyment. Chemistry was one of the most fun classes I had this year. Chemistry gets an 8 out of 10 on the enjoyment because both semesters, especially second semester, I had a lot of people in my class. I mean, first semester was pretty fun. I had a decent amount of people, but second was just unmatched. Second semester chemistry was some of the best classes I had this entire year. I had Arturo and Sebastian in that class. There were just a bunch of random other people too, sometimes that I talked to, like my boy Frankie. But, 8 out of 10 because that was a very fun class. Oh, and Devin. Shout out Devin. And then easiness, like I said earlier, pretty easy class. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 on easiness. I feel like chemistry multiple choice questions are some of the easiest multiple choice questions that you can answer, and there's like never any written response. It's sometimes like weird stuff like drawing like diagrams or whatever, but mostly just the multiple choice. It was a very easy class, so 7 out of 10. Overall rating brings it to a 19 out of 30, which brings chemistry into an A tier class. So kudos to chemistry, I guess. Next up, we got history, and the history class I took, I'm dumb, so I took AP US History, and it is very difficult, but we'll get to that later. Sorry, I just died for a moment there. I forgot what I was gonna say. So I made a video about this earlier. I don't know if I posted this yet, because I don't know when I'm gonna post this video, but I got a 3 on the AP US History exam, which honestly, I'm pretty happy with. Like, I walked in expecting to get a 3. And after I walked out, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a 3, and I ended up getting a 3. So I feel like that's pretty expected. If you did what I did, which I explained in the video when I talked about it, then you're gonna get a 3 in the exam. So whenever I release that video, watch it. Took it as a sophomore also, so I'm happy with it. Coming in, that's not right. Yeah, first category, usefulness, I'm gonna give it a 7. That's the highest rating so far. I feel like just history, like not even just AP US, just the entire history, like genre of learning, whatever. That was a weird way to explain it. I feel like it's one of the most useful things. You need to, like, there's a lot of majors that have history as like a very big part of it, and I feel like it's very useful, and getting a head start on it on AP US is very useful. So history gets a 7 out of 10 useful rating. Enjoyment, I'm gonna give it another 7 out of 10 because, again, second semester was a bit better than first, but both semesters of history were pretty enjoyable for me. I had people in both classes, and also my teacher. I just need to give a quick shout out to Mr. Burke. He was like one of the most chill, tolerant, good grading teachers I've ever had. Like, we understood that, like, nearly every single day was a lesson, and he was smart, he taught those lessons, but, like, after the AP exam, we had, like, no lessons. We didn't do anything in class. We could pretty much do whatever we wanted for a month and a half, and he just didn't care. Also, I had a lot of people in that class, so, 7 out of 10 for enjoyment. Like, the amount of Uno games I played in that class from, like, May to mid-June is unholy. And easiness, here is where A push takes a hit. Obviously it's going to be harder, especially because it's AP US. I'm going to give it a 4. A lot of people would probably rate it lower, but there is a silver lining for me. The multiple choice was the hard part. I hated the multiple choice in this class. It was so difficult, and there's nothing else needed to say there. But for some reason, I've always been pretty good at, like, the essay sections, at, like, the short answers and the LEQ and the DBQ. I've always been pretty good at those, and I feel like those carried my AP exam. So I feel like that brings it up to a 4 out of 10. That brings it up to an 18 out of 30 overall rating for A push, so that gets a B tier. Next up, oh god, you got math. The math I took was honors pre-calculus, and, yeah, it wasn't really that great of a class, which might come as a shock. That's sarcasm. This class was probably even more fast-paced than A push. Like, in A push, at least we got some break days to take, like, tests or whatever. But math, there was a new thing, or sometimes multiple new things every single day, and we're expected to know every single one of them. It's so dumb. I'm taking AP Calc next year. Please, like, I'm hoping I don't die. Okay, starting it off with math. Usefulness, if this was middle school me, I'd be like, this class is entirely useless. But I actually found something. Usefulness, I'm gonna give it a 6, and here's why. The pre-calc itself, this class itself isn't really that useful. You're not going to use a lot. However, this provides a great basis for AP Calc and AP Stat, both AP Calcs also. Like, a lot of things you learn in the AP Calcs are going to be, like, you have to know them from this class. So even though this class isn't really that great, those classes are useful, and they're based off of this class. So that's why this gets a 6 out of 10 on usefulness. Enjoyment, again, I'm going to have to rate this a 6. I keep rating them the same on useful and enjoyment for some reason. But yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 for enjoyment. Both first and second, what did I just say? First and semester, I did it again. What is second? First semester, I had Elijah. That's pretty good. Second semester, I had one of my friends. That worked out great. No, but second semester actually was pretty good for a while. First semester was, like, pretty, like, above average, but not great for, like, the entire time. So I feel like it's fair to give this a 6 out of 10 in enjoyment because both semesters were pretty similar. And then, oh god, easiness. This was the hardest class I took this year. Yes, it was harder than A-Push. This gets a 2 out of 10 on the easiness. There was a new thing every single day. I took, like, 8 unit tests per week in this class. Also, like, like, my county does 90% of the grades on, like, the actual stuff and 10% on homework, and the only grades in the quote-unquote actual stuff category were the quizzes and tests. Like, there was nothing else that could boost your grade. If you didn't do good in the quizzes or tests, you're not going to do good in this class. This is the only class that I got more than 1 B in, and I got a B every single marking period, all 4 of them. All my other 7 classes I took, I got either 3 A's and 1 B, or all A's. Yes, including A-Push. And then in math, I just get 4 B's. So yeah, that's, not very good. So it gets a 2 out of 10 on easiness. Pre-calc, that gives it a 14 out of 30 overall rating, so that gets a D tier. I'm sorry, but math is a D tier class. Next up, we got Comp Sci, which was the other AP class I took this year. I also made a video about this one. I took 2 APs. I made a video on both of them after my scores were released. I got a 4 in this class. I'm happy about that because in A-Push, when I walked in, I knew, like, I wasn't gonna get above a 3. Like, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. I might not even be smart. I don't know. I might just be really good at making people think that I'm smart. Now that I think about it, that's actually probably true. That's genuinely a skill you need to have, by the way, if you take A-Push or AP World. Like, you need that, or AP Euro. But anyway, Comp Sci, I actually, like, knew the material unlike A-Push, so I was hoping to get above a 3, and I was actually pretty surprised when I did, because I was, like, half asleep for half the exam, but I got a 4, so I'm pretty happy with that. Usefulness, I'm gonna actually give this a 7 out of 10. I dropped my stick. That's one of the higher ratings on usefulness, because I saw some random guy on the internet say that, computer science is one of the fastest growing majors and highest paying fields, apparently. And this is a great start. You can do this and or AP Java. That's a great intro to programming class, kind of. So, you know, it's very useful. Enjoyment, I'm gonna give this one a solid 6 out of 10 because, like, it wasn't great, but it certainly wasn't bad either. You know, it was pretty mid, maybe a little above mid. That's why I get 6. I had 2 people that I would call, like, mid friends in first semester, and then second, I had a good friend. I had Arturo, and that was pretty much the only people I talked to, like, every day there. But, you know, yeah. So 6 out of 10 for enjoyment. And then, what's the other one? Where is it? Yeah, easiness. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10 for easiness. You know, most things we learn, you know, it's a pretty easy concept, but, like, when you actually try to do it, it's pretty hard. Especially when it comes to Code HS. Like, you see the Code HS example videos, and you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you do that, and, like, in Code HS, you have to meet, like, all these requirements for some exercises, and it's really annoying to try to do them. There's a lot of trial and error in that class for Code HS especially, but yeah, 5 out of 10 for easiness. That brings Comp Sci to an overall rating of 18, again, out of 30. So that brings Comp Sci into a B tier. Same rating as A-Push, but I'm going to put A-Push a little bit above Comp Sci just because it has a higher enjoyment rating, and I value that one over the others. So yeah, Comp Sci is B. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the elite class. Now we come to band. I sound such like a nerd when I said that, didn't I? Band was the class that, shenanigans happened a lot. Me and the Bongo brother Karan were like the unmatched duo. But band, I also met a lot of people in band this year. This is probably the class that I met the most people. You know, of course you got your Isaacs, you got your Averys, you got your Abbeys, you got your Maddies, you got not Maddie, Mary, same thing. Then of course you got your couple Simons thrown in there. You got Carson, Jake. Yeah, but Carson kind of hates me, but that's irrelevant. For good reason, though. I'm dumb. Max, how could I forget about Max? I met so many people this year, I probably forgot at least one person. I'm not going to stop now. Anyway, band, starting off with the weakest category in band, usefulness, I give this one a solid 6. Because, like, most people are not going to pursue music careers, but the people who do, band is very, very useful for them. Like, most of band was seniors, at least this former previous, whatever, same thing. And a lot of them I know are going to pursue music in college. Like Jillian, I don't know where she's going, but I know she's doing music because she's good at it. Jake is probably going to do music because he's also good at it. This is like who's that trumpet guy? Kurt, he's good at it. He'll probably do it. I don't know. And that's like the 3 that just popped up in my head for no reason. I know there's more. And some people might not be, but band is very useful if you're going to use it. A lot of people don't use it though, so that's why it gets 6. Enjoyment, here's where band gets its strong suit. That made probably no sense. Enjoyment gets 9 out of 10 because it was very fun. It was really the class, really the whole year where I could just do like the most stuff without getting in trouble for it. Like me and Karan, we're the impeccable duo. We just do like the dumbest things in band, and Mr. Rowe just doesn't care. Also, shout out Mr. Rowe, best teacher. Like, I honestly was not expecting, like, anyone to really match, like, I wasn't expecting anyone to even come close to matching the hype of Mr. Dolan when I left middle school. Mr. Rowe isn't quite there at Mr. Dolan level, but he's pretty close. He's done a lot better than I thought he would, so shout out. And then easiness, this gets a 9. We had, like, 3 assignments the whole year, and we don't really do anything. He just grades us on being there. We got 100% every marking period. So yeah, 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not 10 is because there's another 10 later that's actually easier somehow. But yeah, band, that gets it a 24 out of 30 rating, which by far is the best class so far, so that gets an S tier easily from me. And now these 2 classes are the only 2 classes that I took semester of. First semester I took football, so that should actually be first, and second semester I took health. So first up, and then next up, flag football. Yes, there is a class that my high school offers that is a semester class that is literally called flag football. Yeah, this class was it was quite interesting. It was a new experience for me. A lot of times we didn't even play flag football. Like, half the days we just played basketball in the gym. That was fun too, though. And also, when we did play flag football, it was fun because, I don't know, it was just fun. I don't have a reason for it. You know, I'm a dude and I'm 16, so I enjoy playing football, I guess. I'm also apparently pretty good at it according to my entire class, so that was a factor. Anyway, PE, yeah, usefulness, it gets a 1 out of 10. Because, like, if this was, like, weight training, because that's another class, then it would be, like, a 6 or a 7, because that you actually, like, work out and have, like, genuine things, like you have bench presses, you have the little treadmills or whatever. I don't know, I might have just made that up, but I know you actually do useful things in that class. Football, we never really work out. We just, like, run and catch. And, like, I know going to the gym is helpful, but, like, this isn't really anything that has to do with going to the gym. So, football, 1 out of 10 usefulness. And then enjoyment, yeah, this is a 9 out of 10 for enjoyment. It was really fun. I really enjoyed doing this class. Like, I don't really think I had, like, I had one good friend in this class, but there was a bunch of other people that I became, like, mid-friends with that I talked to sometimes. But I did have one good friend, so that definitely helped the enjoyment. And also, football, you know, 9 out of 10. And easiness, yeah, here's the other one that I mentioned earlier. This gets a 10 on easiness. I actually don't think we had a single assignment the entire year. Like, at band, at least we had, like, a folder clean out or, like, concert attire or whatever. But, football, he literally just graded us, like, this week, if you're there, you get a 10 out of 10. And, like, we didn't have a single assignment the whole year, so yeah, 10 for easiness. And that brings football, after getting a 1 out of 10 on usefulness, to a 20 out of 30 overall rating. So that brings it into the S tier, not quite as high as band, but still, S tier class flag football. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, you've got health. Oh my, there's a lot to say about this class. Health was a very, you know, interesting class. Like, remember in, like, 7th grade, I don't even know what grade it was, might have been 6th, might have been 8th, I don't even remember, when we had, like, the family life unit, and everyone was, like, going insane over it. Yeah, this was, like, like, we had a whole unit that was really similar to that, and it was weird because, like, one, it was the exact same thing, like, we'd already learned it in, like, middle school, so it was dumb. Second of all, I would have learned it even if I'd never taken a health class, you know, the internet exists. And third of all, it was weird because, like, we're actually, like, mature now. No, I mean, we're not mature, we're dumb, we're high schoolers. But we're a lot more mature than we were when we were middle schoolers, you know? So, just putting that out there, that was a very interesting unit. Anyway, usefulness, 3 out of 10. The first day we walked in, the first thing that our teacher said to us was, this is going to be the most useful class you take in high school. I knew that was a lie, and it proved to be true. I mean, it proved to be a lie. I proved to be right. I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I feel like health, literally, this was a semester class. You could teach this entire unit in probably, I'd say, max 2 weeks. This is really just 5 months of teaching you not to do drugs and to use condoms. And there's not really that much else. Like, I swear, and that's not even an exaggeration, half of this class was don't do drugs. And it just showed a bunch of stories of a bunch of idiots who use drugs. And, like, bruh, I know that. Like, I'm not gonna do drugs. And, like, people already have in their mind if they're gonna do it, and, like, a lot of people just don't care about the consequences. Like, this is not, like, you don't really learn anything new in this class, so yeah, 3 out of 10 on usefulness. Enjoyment, this class actually gets an 8 on enjoyment, which might surprise some people. First of all, I had Sebastian and Jessica in this class both, so that was very helpful, you know, the 3 of us, the 3 musketeers. I just made that up. I just resumed on accident. Sorry. So, like, I could always just, like, me and Sebastian were, like, the impeccable duo in this class. You know? Yeah, I mean, Sebastian knows. But yeah, I feel like I got really lucky, at least with this class, because if I had this class with no friends, it would have, like, a 0 on enjoyment, because, like, but just with friends, it's so much better. That's really the only thing I can say about it because there's nothing else to say. So yeah, 8 for enjoyment. And easiness, again, I'm gonna give it another 8, and it really should be higher. Like, but no, I changed my mind. It should be 8 because we got a fair amount of assignments, like not an excessive amount, obviously, because it's health. But like we got a fair amount of assignments, but like every single one of them was so easy. I think the 2 marking periods I got a 97 and 98% in this class. So like it's like the opposite of English, you know? Like English is like a lot of assignments, but they're actually like kind of difficult. Health is also a lot, but you know, they're the easiest assignments you will ever do. So yeah, health gets an 8 out of 10 for easiness. That brings it up to a 19 overall rating for 19 out of 30 overall rating for health. So I'm gonna put that in A tier. I'm also probably gonna put that a little bit above chemistry because yeah, I just feel like actually they have the same enjoyment rate, but I feel like health is actually a little bit more fun because you know it's health. So yeah, health gets high A tier, and there's it. There's it. I can speak English, guys. You heard it here first. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is my sophomore year classes tier list. Do you agree? Do you not agree? I don't know, but yeah. Hopefully my opinions inspired some people and gave. Like, if you're watching this video and you haven't gone into sophomore year yet, I think I gave you a pretty good idea of what you should at least, like, try to expect. As long as you're taking the same classes I did, which you're probably not, but, you know. Yeah, like no sophomores took AP Comp Sci. Like, everyone in that class was, like, a junior or senior. Also, I forgot to do this when I was rating each individual class. I did it, like, once, but I want to give out some teacher shout-outs. Miss Zhang for math. Like, even though math is kind of a trash class, I did have a very good math teacher second semester. First semester, Mr. Yates, he was also good. But Miss Yates was my 6th grade science teacher. What am I talking about? Oh my. So before my sophomore year of math, I had a philosophy that every single math teacher is bad. Mr. Yates, my first semester math teacher, broke that philosophy because he wasn't bad. So then I had a philosophy of no math teacher is good. Miss Zhang's second semester broke that philosophy as well. So apparently math teachers can be good. I think I already gave a shout out to Mr. Burke, elite teacher. Miss Barnes, health, also elite teacher. Miss Martioski, not quite elite, but definitely good. And a lot of people are going to be mad at me for that, but she was a good teacher. Mr. Pinsky, you know how my mom's a teacher? So I had Mr. Pinsky, my mom and Mr. Pinsky were teaching each other's kids at the same time. So that was pretty interesting. Also, Mr. O just messed, shout out to my boy Mr. O over here. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. On to the outro we go. Alright, so that's about it for my sophomore year classes tier list. I hope you agree with my ratings. Did you enjoy? Yes or no? I don't know. Leave a comment if you have anything to say, I guess. Was this a W video? Was this an L video? Was it somewhere in between? Was there some things that surprised you, or were you expecting all of it? Whatever it is, just let me know. That's about it, so see you.